peace, power, and love, sent from above and below and all in between, that the air we breathe by the divine energy to be in and of and around us, that we are made of, on the pathway of our ancestors. Once again, before the sunrise, Humam Abdulmalik with Blackanized, International Nubian Consciousness, conscious chess moves. In this serious, not a game, but serious living of this life in this realm and dimension. Not to mention it be socially engineered for us to be a certain type of mentality to deal with our reality that's been sort of like orchestrated to become an illusion, really, to keep us in a state of disillusionment, striving and trying to figure out the next day or how we're going to do this or how we're going to do that. But it's going to be all right, because we are the people who sustain so much disdain and so much pain to be where we're at now by the divine decree to overcome all this, to be strong on the pathway of our ancestors. We are strong people. We got to realize that. We got to realize in the paradigm of 2017 years, they want to keep us in that. They want to keep our mind closed. They want to keep our mind controlled in this particular abode of 2017 years. Because in that time frame, we've been through an ordeal that will peel the skin off of some people like it done us. Cannot regress for one moment. I didn't do a proper introduction, I don't feel. Because I didn't talk about nothing about the breath of life that we have woken up to, or peace, power, and love sent from above. I want to say that once again, and I want to say it with a feeling that I want to feel from within. Now I can get back to where I was at. This 2017 years that we've been in as a people is not the beginning nor the end of time, but is a period of time they want to confine our mind in. Because in that period of time, we have mostly everything to have us under control, or have our soul under control. In that period of time, like almost 500 years of it, we was in captivity. Being made and molded and shaped into what somebody else wanted us to be. And they did it through a methodology of fear, of being so inhumane to another human being. It was like insanity. They were so ruthless, so murderous. I mean, to cut the fetus out of a mother's stomach, a pregnant mother's stomach, and then stomp it. How ruthless can you be? And see, I can never forgive nor forget acts like that went on for years. Then get to land. They lynched us, burned us, castrated us, made us fight against each other and murder each other. Took our women when we married a woman before we cohabitated with her. They did. That period of time, we should have not have gotten there, but that's the way life was lived. And it was a life that's by these people that wanted control over us to make us so subservient. They did some cruel things to us. And we got to realize what they done and never forgive or never forget. They not only raped our women, they raped our men, women, and children. They had sex farms, break our men in front of everybody, break them down. That was something we couldn't help at that time. We could have died, which we should have. We could have united and organized, which we should have. And we did in time. Then there's a lot of us that didn't accept that. They went to the hills and became maroons. An example of that was in Haiti, where we beat the French and the English. That's why Haiti is going through the ordeal that it's going through now, because of sanctions set by the people that they defeated. They don't want to talk about that aspect of it, but they want to show Haiti being such a derogatory state and this and that. But it's all orchestrated by the World Banks, French government. They got to still pay taxes to the French for the defeat of the French or whatever. But it's through the monetary bank, the international bank, the Federal Reserve, and all that, keeping their feet on the people of Haiti necks. They don't even want to give us reparation because they bucked on the 40 acres and the mule that they said. Not only did they do that, they bucked on so many treaties that they made to us when we was going through the Indian wars. They try to promote stuff like the Indians had slaves also. They want to have everybody against everybody. They say that we had slaves, we enslaved ourselves and stuff like that. His lies, I tell you, his lies is a method of to hypnotize us and have us against each other. Have us not wanting to become unified and continue to die if we don't. We got to realize that it's all a game and they're the masters of the game. See, but we're masters by divine decree if we become mentally free and stop just looking with the five senses and understand this natural sciences that surround us. Understand frequency and vibration and energy. Understand that this is the age of Aquarius. Understand that we must rise up and become a part of the essence of nature. We must get in tune with nature as divine people. We need to do this yesterday. And we got to come out of that mental entrapment or that circumference that they got our thinking in that 2017 years. You just talked about the aspect of the slavery part. That's just one aspect of the slavery. Then in that same time, in 325 AD, that's confined into 2017. AD is after death or something like that. I'm talking about the Nicene Council, because I be redundant, reiterate things so we can grasp it and see that so we can build upon the misconception and the deception and bring into the reality clarity of knowledge and understanding. So we can open the doors of growth and development based on the clarity and of reality instead of distortion of his lies. In 325 AD, at the Nicene Council, the Pope Emperor Constantine gathered all the bishops. I think it was like 253 of them. And that's when they went in the sacred scrolls and created the Bible and called it the Bible. And this is biblical historical fact about the Nicene Council. All you have to do is look it up. And that's where they created the Trinity. They created a lot of things there, and some of the popes or emperors at that time they bucked against. They were killed because they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to. To them, it was blasphemy when you take something from what is the reality and you change it into something to meet your needs or your project or your method of deception or your institutionalized education, institutionalized building of institution of deception and call it religion. But that's where they took the concept of Asa, Aset, and Heru and made it into the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. They took out the matriarchic element of our queens and said that our queen is the one who committed the first sin by deceiving Adam. If the story is true, it wasn't like Adam couldn't think too. He had a choice. But the story is not true. It's a fallacy. And again, it was stolen from the sacred scrolls and writings of ancient Kemet. It was a sister, Shishata. I got to find her name out correctly, and I'll get that back to you. But anyway, the Pharaoh at the time was in the beginning of his rule, and he had to rule in knowledge and understanding, and he called on the sister, and the sister did bring him a fruit, but it was the fruit of enlightenment, the fruit of understanding, to give him the knowledge and the wisdom and the encouragement to lead divinely and righteously. And then they stole the story and turned it around because, we was in a matriarchic society and setting, but when these Europeans and the Agathons came into power, they wanted to destroy that and take the woman out of the picture and put the man. And we've been into a patriotic society and setting ever since. And how many wars have been on the earth? How many wars because of these people and their control and this systematically, dominantly demonic control of everything. Everything they come in contact with, they destroy, take over, and manipulate, and everybody want to be like them because of the materialistic wealth that they have and the capitalistic mentality that they manipulate everybody to take part in to attain materialism instead of deal with your spiritualism, to deal with the entity, the divine entity within your temple. Brother Darrell, good morning, and Hotep Ashe, Salam Alaikum, peace, and he made a comment. How could God not be the author of confusion and tell them not to eat the tree of life and put it right in their face? It's common sense and natural sense will make you look at the picture clearly. That's why we gotta reprogram ourselves, recode ourselves of the misconception of his lies on every level. They use these institutional religions to separate us. It's one deity, one entity, one universal intelligence that brought all this into being. And everything would not be, especially the religions, going against each other. It will bring unity to each other. If it's from the Creator, that's what it would do. It will unify. Nature is thing that's in unity. Man-made, synthetic stuff is not in unity. It puts us out of whack. Just like the weather now. We in the middle of winter, but we got summer weather. So, and even with that, is a game being played. The game of, it's a prophecy, right? So if these people, generation after generation after generation, got a goal and bloodline to establish that goal, even though it's a prophecy of during the last days and times, you won't be able to tell the winter from the summer, nor the summer from the winter. You won't be able to tell the man from the women and the women from men. But it's been also orchestrated and manipulated to fulfill that in the game that they playing. It will go so far as that holographic arrival of the so-called Messiah is part of their plan. It's already written that that's part of their plan. But we don't read and we don't believe what we read, and then everything that we read ain't believable. But we look between the lines and cross the T's and dot the I's, then we'll realize what's real and what's not. And Brother Dow got another comment. Oh, boy. He talking about in the story, Job, according to the story of God, sent Satan at him and allowed his son Satan to kill his family and all. It is what it is. That's why we can't always, like I just said, believe everything we read, because it's falsehood and truth strangely mixed. That's a quote from my Moorish brothers that I always hold on to. Truth is falsehood. Falsehood and truth strangely mixed. We got to realize that these peoples are masters of that. So in our life, we have to control what we receive, what we believe. Because if we stay in the confinement as 2016, we're going to just be slaves in this confinement, in this paradigm, in this realm, in this dimension. Because we don't be taught natural sciences. They took all that out of the curriculum. When we taught it, we taught everything about life. But they took like astrology out of it. They took natural sciences out. They took sciences that we were taught about, the energy, frequency, and vibrations, which is a natural science. They don't want us to be in tune with nature. They want us to be under robot control, soulless, genderless, because they promote all this. You can see it. You can't even, really, when they talk about you can't tell the men from the women and the women from the men, that's a reality. Because you got some people that's so dressed up. They will deceive the eye. And the mind can't even detect who or what they are. But you get in a situation and then you be like, so, man, it's a shame. The game that they play. And for what? To be unnatural. Be unnatural screens the wind. Man, it's something in this day and time. The brother made another statement. We control the ether 9. That's, to get a pause to the number 9 is the completion of man. 9 ether is that context of being at the prime or apex of this creation. It's like they control the weather with a hot machinery that people don't believe. They say it's a conspiracy theory, stuff like that. And the genocide, yeah, they commit genocide against us, but there is self-inflicted genocide within our communities about our young warriors, and that's how it is. And self-inflicted genocide is just like suicide. Oh, and I see my brother Marcelo Tolliver. That's my young baby brother. I'm telling you, brother, that coconut pie ain't nothing but the truth. I ate one last night at work. Man, I don't know what. I'm glad my mother is not around now. Bless her soul. I might have smacked her. But anyway, yeah, it's at 2101 Alabama Avenue, that little store right by the alley. You have a great day. Let me know when you're going to be back on that airways with that good old jazz. That's the brother on WPFW. Jazz master. Brother Daniel, is he on it this morning? I guess we're having a dialogue. He mentioned about our DNA to be masterminds. It says slavery has always been 80% mental and 20% physical. Yeah, we are within the temple. Our body is the temple, and the energy of the Creator or the divine energy is within our inner verse. That's right, my brother. That's right. That's Marcelo I'm answering now too. But we are we are just like Imhotep, a multi-genius. And that is in our DNA. That's the divine prescript that's in us. And all we have to do is tap into it. That's why our ancestors left over the doors of study in each room of study that we went into, whatever art that we was going in the ancient art of learning. Whether it was healing, it was love, it was science, it was math, it was whatever. It say know thyself. And once you tap into knowing thyself and understanding the universe so that we can have an effect upon the universe, your inner power will open up clarity. One of the sciences that we're not taught is the science of the chakra and the kundalini, and is the energy vortexes on our body, and there's 7 of them. The lower, the middle, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra. And then the kundalini that's up in the spinal cord. And once these are activated naturally by the melanin, the pituitary and the pineal gland activated, it's a piece of flesh that's in your brain. It's activated. Then it opens up clarity. It opens up clarity in your consciousness and your subconscious, like almost merge. And you're beyond your 5 senses. So you really see beyond your sense of sight. Your understanding is more enhanced. You have more clarity. You almost become like a seer. You can almost have visions and stuff like that. The more you get into yourself, the more powerful you become. The more power you take on the personality of the Creator, the energy of the Creator. And that's what, we got to study, and we call ourselves gods and goddesses. But we have the personality of those, of a god or a goddess. More so of I don't like saying God, because you turn around, it's dull. But anyway, we tap into this energy, or the energy tap into us, and we become more stronger and everything. I mean, it's just a level and degrees that we go through to get back to where we're supposed to be. And that's part of the energy, the divine energy that's in us, that we tap into it, and we be in tune with nature. We be in tune with everything around us. And that's our job. We've come in tune with ourselves so that we can have that unity to spread around to our people, our community. I see Brother Odio is with us too. I want to say salute to my brother, good brother, that's an imhotep of this day and time. We have to reach this level for unity, to the unity that we need in our community today. We got to reach our young warriors, our young youth that's in locale, our community here in D.C. But every city, every major city, we got the same problem. Our youth is doing the same thing and saying the same thing. We got to eat, we got to feed our family. But the method that we're using to feed our family is a deterrent to the whole community. And see, we in a dire situation when we eat that away, when we got to hurt one another and be armed and be at war with one another. We know each other. Like in Chicago, they say some of the people was in the same group. Then they dispersed because of one of the leaders getting locked up, who they have locked up, and is a brother. I'll mention his name. They call him Larry Hoover. He has such a profound influence upon the people to keep them unified in their activity that they saying if they let him out, he can stop, all this killing or whatever. But they know what they're doing. They want us to kill each other. They want us to have that animalistic, predatory nature to keep doing what we're doing instead of having that divine nature of love and peace for each other. Overcome the self-hate that's been socially engineered into our psyche through the social narcotics of white supremacy and institutionalized racism and the Willie Lynch syndrome. We got to overcome all that and be who we are. Excuse me. We got to be developers of our own community. We got to, the police are nothing but slave catchers. So we got to, I ain't going to say police our community. We just got to be watchers in our community. We got to be, it takes a village to raise a child. We need to be that village. And another thing that's disappointing to me, my grandmother used to say the night doctors, right? Back in her time, they were snatching bodies then, but they were called night doctors. But in our day and time, it's an organized, I ain't going to say crime, I think it's organized through the system that you ain't had to go there. I got some alkaline water in the kitchen, my brother. The brother talking about, you see I'm drinking that cancer water with fluoride in it. I humbly apologize, but my throat I should go get my alkaline water I got in there. I hear you. I humbly submit to that, brother. Oh, it's funny now. Okay. But anyway, yes, sir. But you're definitely right. Our water it has fluoride in it and stuff like that, and a whole lot of other stuff that we should not be drinking. We had an example, prime example. They say Detroit. They put that on the map with all that lead in the water, but that was not only in Detroit. It was here in D.C. too. Had lead in the water in our school system. You're definitely right, brother. But we have to deal with the situation of taking our community and taking it back into where we be dealing with our brothers and sisters in the spirit of love, a spirit of peace, so that they will stop this war that's going on, that's being manipulated by those in the principalities of the people that's in the government. That's where it's coming from. We cannot cut no corners and pull no punches. The war is between us and those who say they govern us. The higher ups beyond that, beyond the president. The president is being manipulated because he's the emperor that's controlled this corporation. There's a corporation of England, and this is a colorful state. The Washington, D.C. is the militaristic aspect of it. London is the financial, the Vatican is the religion. And we got to know this because this is real. This is the reality of what we live under. We got this emperor now that's in the seat that, I mean, he's so chaotic and confused. He don't know people who dead or alive. He don't know nothing about black history, and his wife don't have any. She don't have no class, and he doesn't have inkling of political astuteness. It's like we got a clown who want to be the master in the circus, and the people who's supposed to be pulling this chain is all a game because it's a part of a plan that they had implemented from time before, generation after generation. They trying to get to a point like that we are now, that they want a new world order to come out the confusion and chaos. They want a new world order to come out of that. See, that's in their mind because they know who we are. They know that we are divine people, but they have a God complex or deity complex. I'll say that way. I'm tired of saying that word God, but that's what we understand. We've been programmed with that word. We've been programmed with the whole conception of God and the devil and all that. That's why they're manipulating this thing about prophesizing this time, the last days and time, because they are the orchestrators of it. We can't take the divine element out of it, but we got to realize that what they wrote, they've been doing this for generations to get to a certain point. For whatever mad reason in their mind, this is what they're trying to do. And we got to realize that. See, we just can't be on this like the five senses. We got to go beyond that. We got to go esoterical knowledge. We got to go arcane knowledge. We got to go into everything that's African spirituality. We got to do that yesterday. I said something to Brother Oski Doski because I thought I'd seen a symbol, but he just signing in now. I'm not sure, but always salute to this brother here, genius of the digital world and the information world, as far as giving us lyrics of wisdom. As I said before earlier, another Imhotep. But anyway, we have to enjoin one another to do good, to do right, do righteous work, to establish unity. First, we got to purify ourselves of our thoughts so we don't have no ulterior motives, that we don't be spontaneous liars, we don't be hypocritical, we don't be arrogant, egotistical, or self-centered, that we be in a natural flow, a divine flow of who we are in an energetic pathway that's been laid by our ancestors so that their death would not have been in vain. See, not only are we dealing with the ancestors of the now, the moderate now, see, we got to go back to the ancient future, to where all our sciences were in the Akabu land, Nubia, and ancient Kemet, and over here, because we was everywhere. The Native Americans and the Aztecs, that was us. Here, we the one was been here with the Amaleks, the big heads in Mexico, that was us. Then they got pyramids up and down the Mississippi and Colorado that they don't let us know nothing about. That's why we can't disbelieve his lies, because his lies are a distortion of our story. He don't have no history, so he plagiarized ours, and stole ours, and turned it around. And when I say them or who I'm talking about a culture of people, mainly the three main. I'm talking about them Jews, I'm talking about them Greeks, and I'm talking about them Romans. And all the other ones come from that European Aryan bloodline, the Agathor, especially the Germans. We got to watch out for them too. Them Aryan Brotherhood type brothers. They think they're a master race, but they know they're not. All of them know who we are, and a lot of us don't know who we are. We got to come out of the slave mentality over here. Then when we go over there across the water, we got to get out of that colonized mentality. that's on the continent we call Africa. And we got to come together, because if we can get a United States of Africa, we can control the world, because all the mechanism that we look at, the apparatus of this phone and all that, the TV, the computer, the lasers and everything, we need those elements to be in there to make them run, And then you know how they like diamonds and gold and all that, the bling bling. They like it more than we do, But that's ours. But we got to control it and defend it. We got to get to that state of mind and state of heart to come together and stop being apart. Stop talking about our brothers. Stop talking about each other. We ain't even got to go about and talk about the Africans are this and they stinking. Our brother was telling me about how the women stink, how African women stink, and how, they stink. But they smelling natural. We the ones stink because we cover up our funk with deodorant, cancerous causing deodorant. We cover it up. But our body odor, is a natural must. But we got all caught up into the perfumes and this and that. Not oils. I'm talking about perfumes and stuff that cause cancer and all that. All these man-made products that these capitalists, these mad capitalists and these mad scientists don't even matter in development of stuff that'll hurt us and not heal us. They ain't about healing. They about killing. They're about not preventive medicine, but curative medicine that you got to keep coming back. It's all about money with them. And we got to be about the money also, because that's what the realm we are in. That's why we got to become entrepreneurs. We got to develop a mindset to be creative enough to gain money to benefit our whole community on being collective and not competitive. We got to be cooperative. We got the people with money, and we know what we need. So let's do it. Let's buy airspace and control it. Let's buy radio stations. Let's buy movie industries. Let's buy that. Let's buy food factories. Let's buy land so we can grow our food, because we know right now what they doing. They trying to take control of all the food, take the seeds out of food. They trying to make food in the laboratory, because they gone mad, because money. Money, a fiat money, a promissory note with no minerals to back it up. They make it every day. The Federal Reserve make it every day at the Bureau, engraving here, and it doesn't have any value to it. It's just paper. But we kill each other for it. And the lack of it, we can't survive. So they got us in a paradigm that we can't get out if we stay in their infrastructure. That's why we got to unify, organize, and develop our own infrastructure based on truth, justice, and equality, and come together as melanated people through love and understanding and peace, not self-hate, not competitive nature. We got to do this yesterday. We got to be protectors of our community, because they're snatching our children right in front of our faces. Man, it's like 400-something children missing within this locale. Missing for years, so we hope they're alive. But we know there's sex range. We know there's body parts, and we know melanin is part of that. Because melanin is a $250-something, $3 a gram. A gram. And so if we a body, how many grams do we got in our body? But anyway, this is another day that I pray to our deity, through our understanding, through our universe, in our temple, to learn the things that we need to learn to rise up as a people, unified and ready to live for our people, and reach out for our people in our communities, unifying our communities and protect each other in our communities. Go to our young warriors, our young adults that's had that animalistic nature, that predatory nature, and reach them with some love and let them know that they are the leaders in our community. But lead in the right way, lead in a righteous way. Don't lead in a way that's going to hurt us and debilitate our community, tear our community down, build our community up. You'll still have that self-esteem. You'll still have that position of leadership but it'll be in a good way. It'll be in a loving way. We got to do this, man. We got to do it every day, every moment. That's how we got to reach them, man. They can't be a deterrent to our own struggle against our natural enemy. We got to let them, they got to realize, and I think a lot of them do know, that we have a natural enemy that we got to fight against. The wars are not against ourselves. It's a mental war, a spiritual war, an economical war. And like Malcolm said, it'll be the ballot or the bullet. We've seen one aspect of the ballot, but if that personality that was in there could have been more passing those executive orders that have been somewhat in our favors, like reparation. All they had to do is do it on the pen. And it would have been upon them to veto it or whatever, but at least he would have did it instead of saying he wasn't going to do it or he wasn't about that. I read something he said about reparation. It kind of upset me with that personality of that brother. And people say he was the first black president, which he wasn't. If we know our correct story, there's a dude, John Henson, on a $2 bill. He was black. He was the president before that rapist, George Washington, back there with the other rapists, Thomas Jefferson. All them so-called founding fathers were, except John Henson, were rapists. They owned slaves, man. And when they did the Constitution and all that, we was in so-called slavery, captivity. The Emancipation Proclamation was a document that's supposed to brought us out of slavery. But then when they did the 13th Amendment, they said that slavery is no longer, but in the same token on the backside of that, they say the only place you can be a slave is in incarceration when you're duly convicted of a crime. So therefore, my brothers and my sisters, I say, let's stop committing crime. Let's stop taking drugs. Let's stop drinking alcohol. Let's purify our souls. Let's become a village of righteous people in our communities, and just let that bloom like a seed in the ground that we planted in the soil of our mind. Because we got to change our thinking, our talking. We got to change our action so that we can become the righteous people. We can become the real warriors that we're supposed to be, the spiritual warriors, the mystical warriors, and things of that nature in our communities, and have our communities of love that we develop by divine decree on the pathway of our ancestors. I know we can do it. All we have to do is stop saying we can't do it. Niggas ain't gonna do this, and bring that type of mentality. Erase that out of your essence, out of your being. It begins with thought. If we manifest that thought of what we can do, it will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We got to manifest it from our heaven on this earth that we're on. We can do it because we've done it before. We were the people who can, when harmony and peace were here on the planet, we are the ones who motivated that. And when they be talking about going back to America when it was great, it wasn't great. It was great before they came. Their establishment, when they got here, took America out of its greatness. And we got to realize that. America was great. This land here was great because of us, because we was in harmony with nature and everything. We was in harmony with each other. But when they came, they destroyed all of that. That's what they do. They're destroyers of harmony and peace. They're controllers of it. They want to control and hoard everything. They want to be in control, and they want people to be subservient to them. Because they come out the caves or the Caucasus Mountains. And I ain't going to say I don't know, but they got this word about Mog and Magog. I think they are the ones that came out of them hills and spread all over the earth. That already happened. And they are that. They're animalistic and they're predatory. And see, we take on their nature, and that's why our young youth are doing what they do. Through the manipulation of the frequencies and the vibrations and the energy that these people have stolen our sciences and use them on us, like the harp and all that, and messing with the weather and the frequencies and the music and all that drive you crazy. We got to realize that. We got to be at peace. We got to have love. We got to promote that amongst ourselves. And I'm saying amongst ourselves because we are the ones that's hurting. We are the ones that have been manipulated and attacked and everything over the years on all levels. Spiritually, mentally, economically. And we got to come back into a concept of self-love, of peace and understanding, and overcome the self-hate that's been injected into our psychics through the social narcotics of white supremacy and institutionalized racism and the Willie Lynch syndrome. We suffer from all that, and we got to overcome that with understanding. We got to become who we are naturally to be, brothers and sisters of each other, through peace, love, and harmony. And it can be done. I will it into my existence, that I deal with everybody on my equal scale. And one time a brother told me, I'm in a brother circle with the brother, and he tell us in the circle that he don't trust nobody. I hope you're listening too, brother, because I ain't going to talk about you back, because I'm going to mention it in the circle too. He said he don't trust nobody, right? And I believe he was serious because he was talking serious. And I was thinking about that after the meeting. I was saying, how can he say he don't trust nobody? How can I put my life in his hand if he don't trust me and I'm his brother? And we're in this brother circle. See, I trust everybody until they betray my trust. And hopefully that their betrayal don't be my demise. But if it's not, then they don't have my trust no more. But then I still try to reach them because my brother and my sister, they're part of the energy, the synergy that we need, that connection of love, peace, and understanding. But we got to overcome a lot of idiosyncrasies that we have, and we got to clean ourselves up of the baggage that, there's a negative qualities, and grow into this blackness, grow into this divine energy, grow into this love, grow into this peace, so that we can control our communities economically, educationally, and spiritually. We got to unify, because the Creator don't take us apart. The Creator bring us together in unity, and we expand together. The universe is forever expanding. Outward, inward, every area, where is there not air? Under the water, but what's down there that keep those that's down there, the animals or whatever, in that environment, keeps them alive. And that's through the energy of this sustaining energy of the divine nature that's everywhere on this planet, in this realm. And if the universe and the stars got planets around there, is ever expanded. This energy that we call God is that blackness that we see in space. And it's universal, from the black hole to this abode. So I promote unity, peace, and love. I promote learning the sciences that'll get us past the five senses, that have that energy of the kundalini and the chakra centers active, and giving us the energy and the insight and the clairvoyance, becoming sage and seers, and our queens becoming priestess, and the kings becoming priests. Princes and priests. And our sisters becoming princes and priestess. We teach them who they are and allow them to be soldiers, but in our army. Soldiers of peace, soldiers of love, soldiers of unity by divine decree. and overcome all the negative energy and all negative teachings and all the attacks upon us to get us to live an unrighteous life, to have predatory or animalistic nature, to become into a genderless, unnatural state of mind. We have to be on a natural road, a divine road that is paved out by our ancestors by divine decree, in love and peace. And every day we should promote this. Every day we should be about development of an infrastructure through unity and organization by connecting with everyone that thinks like us, everyone that is in the synergy of peace and understanding, not for selfish, ulterior motives, but on a universal understanding of who we are, so that we can overstand and understand and stand on a solid foundation of peace, love, and justice. And I want to just say, the Nation of Islam just had a Savior's Day that was, I guess, a success like every year. And whoever else doing something locally or around the country or on the whole planet Earth, we got to bring it together in unity with purpose. We got to bring it together as brothers and sisters, trying to get that one goal, one purpose, and one aim. Like our brother Marcus Garvey, his quote, and worship one deity. And that one deity should bring us together, not separate us, not keep us apart. That's the art of deception that these people that we are under their dictatorship have injected into our psychic through social engineering and mass brainwashing, mass mind control. And they use it through these apparatus that we look at and spend. How many hours do we sit in front of the TV? Well, they subliminally send us messages that our conscious don't see, but our subconscious pick it up all day long, some of us. But we got to come out of that dilemma and the quagmire maze of deception and this distorted illusion. We got to follow our leads of those was here before us and understand that the dream hasn't been manifested in our reality, that the dream that Martin Luther King said that it may have become a nightmare. We got to wake up and manifest that dream into reality, a dream where we as a people heal and come into some self-love and develop our communities. We deal with what Malcolm said, the ballot or the bullet, but we got to have somebody that really cares for us, and it can't be in that system, because you can't change a system. They'll let you in there. They let you in there so that you can be the face that they need to get somewhere else. We got to change the system. Like I said, you can be in the world but not of the world. We can be in this system but not of the system. We just got to have a parallel system that we created, an infrastructure, like we had the Black Wall Streets. We got to get them again. We got to be not selfish businessmen and all that, but we got to be about us, to lift us up and make money and all that, but let the money go through our communities and touch everybody's hand. That's why we got to get become entrepreneurs. We got to get skills and all that. We got to get skills. We got to make that currency flow through our hands in a way that we can establish our infrastructure in love, peace, and understanding. I sincerely seek this, and I pray, because power is prayer and prayer is power. It's like Ashe, where we will things into being. Hotep, that we want this thing to occur. We say amen. We say so it be. We do this as a people, and enough of us do it and enact it in our lives. It can come and it can be, and we can do it. We got to come out of that old cliche, oh, them niggas ain't going to do nothing. We can't do this. We can do what we want, because we do what we want. We do what we want every day. We get up and go to work. We go to the liquor store on Friday. We do everything routinely as we do it. So we can do what we can and make it a routine, make it a habit. You change old habit for new habits and make it a divine habit. I want to give a shout out to my brother too. He up in Chicago with Ceasefire, Don't Smoke the Brothers, Malik Farrakhan. I want to give a shout out, man, to I think, it's Ronald Moulton and I guess returning citizen organization and all them that's supposed to be doing a thing with the police. Basketball tournament about stop the violence and a seminar at the same time and all that. Police from D.C. and police from Baltimore supposed to be playing the game, and I think it's returning citizens from here and there. I got to go back into that to get the details. But that's coming up. And a motive of trying to stop the violence in our community. I guess they say if you can't go to the community, bring the community to you. But I know that we got to go in the community, in the trenches, in the cesspools. We of us that travel that in that cesspool and reach our young warriors and our young brothers and tell them the war got to stop. It's misdirected. We can still deal with the same aspect of what we're trying to do, eat and live and sustain our families. Well, let's do it in the right way so that we can't have the slave catchers in our community and we won't be at war with each other. Let's do this thing through peace, love, and understanding. Let's put a tool in their hand that's going to be constructive and take that tool out their hand that is destructive. Let's do this divinely and in unity, peace, love, and understanding. I say Ashe, Hotep, Amen, Assalamu Alaikum. I say all these things that bring us together as one people. I don't care if you're under the steeple or the masjid or wherever you may be, the synagogue and all, wherever. We as black people, so-called black people, so-called Africans in America or American of African descent, but melanated people. I employ us as individuals to come together collectively to rise up and protect our communities, protect our children, protect our families in this political climate that we are in. The tsunami, that word I couldn't say last night. So tsunami is coming. It's coming one way or the other because they planning for it. It's planned chaos and confusion that they doing so that they can try to get at a level of what they want, a new world order. So all these things that we're going through is by design. It's by design of our brothers doing what they're doing. They're under robot control. A lot of us walk around with our eyes wide shut. Then a lot of us know and just sell our souls and become Negropeans, emulating the European, because we accept that social narcotics. We so high off the euphoria of it, of the materialistic gain and wealth or whatever, that we say, damn. A good example of that, I'll say Little Kim. I mean, when she was when she was in a right state of mind, she looked all right, but look at her now. Her soul is lost, her mind is gone. He, my brother Michael Jackson, great entertainer he was, had lost his mind or his soul because of whatever he was going through. But we can't do that. But I ain't gonna say they were Negropeans. I'll say that people sell the soul, or I ain't gonna call her a Negropean, she's sick or something. But people sell their soul knowingly, just say the hell with that and take on the demeanor. They be trying to be so European and talk the language and walk the walk and all that, and don't have an inkling of love for themselves. And I'll leave us with that and say we cannot be part of this dilemma that we're in wholeheartedly. We got to be change agents. First, we change ourselves and our immediate environment with our families and our communities. We got to be peacemakers and not peace breakers. And I want to give a shout out to Brother Yango Elwood Sawyer, a very astute activist. I want to give a shout out to the campaign of Trayon White and a shout out to the councilman Trayon White. I want to give a shout out to all political people throughout our city, Washington, D.C. I want to give shout out to every city around this country. I want to give shout out to every country around this world that where we are the majority or the minority, but we need to organize. I give a shout out, a world shout out, beginning from me, emanating from me, and ripple effect to everybody I named and everybody I didn't name, for us to come together in a unified effort. Whatever religion that we practice, we know it's only one creator. If it's one creator, it's only one unified effort that we should be about. We can worship and practice and go through the studies or whatever we do, whatever classroom we in or environment, religious environment we in, but it should bring us together, not separate us. That's the ploy of divide and conquer. And they know that we are the most majority in every institutionalized religion. So that's where they use us and manipulate us to keep us apart. But like mystical art, we got to come together in the name of, I'll say, God. And with that, I say, in love and peace and understanding, let's come together. Let's be demanding of ourselves to bring this mystical art on the pathway of our ancestors by divine decree to come together and then establish once again some matriarchic society where we can have peace and harmony, where we can develop federations and land masses of growth and development, of keeping the food growing. We might be in the dire times though, but we can't even worry about that. We just got to go in this natural flow and be the warriors that we are and the protectors of our community and be the shining star of some divine light to give other people insight about our plight and how to overcome it. We got to be entrepreneurs. We got to use tools of construction. We got to learn trades and all that. We got to do that in this day and time, even in this political climate that we find ourselves, a summertime in the middle of winter. But they say it's the last days and times where you can't tell the winter from the summer and the summer from the winter. And you can't tell men from the women or the women from the men. And it's all being prophesied and orchestrated and manipulated in our psyches and our minds. But let's become divine people so we'll find our time in this non-divine society. And we'll say, in love, peace. Peace is unity, togetherness, and power. Divine power and love for our people all over the planet, all over the world. But starting with ourselves first. Look in the mirror and the reflection of who you see. And say, is this who I want to be? Am I mentally free? Am I spiritually free? And I am what I say I am, to be what I want to be. And that's mentally free, to be a part of this puzzle, to uplift our people. That's what we got to do. We got to be the part, the intimate part that uplift someone. Someone motivate today, captivate, stimulate, agitate in a way to make them look at themselves and ask themselves, why? What can I do? Why not? Don't stop saying I can't. I can. And in that essence of love, I'll leave you into the energy, the divine energy, rise me tomorrow. Or you see me in the pathways of life. We can have this continuation of this conversation based on unity, love, and peace, and understanding, and justice and equality from ourselves in this political dilemma, political climate we find ourselves. With the emperor on the seat, never seen nothing like it. Never.